All right. Hello, hello. It is Sunday, the 23rd, and doing another stream for you today. Like I said, this is going to be part of my regular schedule of streaming. I'm trying to do Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, so we'll see how long I stick to that. But a few things I wanted to talk about today. I have brought out a bunch of my McFarlane toys, which I've been really into. Um, and I'm actually curious, like, what other people in the community think about McFarlane toys, because when I was first getting into it and then I started looking up other videos, I definitely heard, and I can't recall who exactly, but I definitely watched a couple of videos or saw a couple like titles of a video about people saying that, they didn't like McFarlane toys or whatever. Excuse me. That there was something they didn't like about them, or they weren't into them, or others were better, or whatever. And if anyone thinks that, please let me know. But from my own experience, I really like them, and I think that he's done a really good job at, especially with this multiverse line of like doing every character. Not just like the Trinity, but like doing not obscure characters, but something that DC has not done super well, and I've talked to my wife about this before, is like standing up their side characters. They're characters that aren't part of the Trinity or the Justice League, because they have so many good characters and other Green Lanterns and other and guys like Lobo or Steel. Steel is so cool. Henry Irons or whatever the guy's name is. But see, I barely know about him because they don't do enough with these characters. Um, anyway, but McFarlane Toys has done a really good job at making really cool figures of all these characters, and even ones that are part from different universes and stuff. So anyway, we're gonna get into some of the McFarlane toys I've gotten, which I think are really cool. Some of these I got as gifts for Christmas and birthday and stuff, because my wife knows I like them. I brought out some collected editions as well, that I really like, and I think may not be on everybody's radar. And they're books that I think that people like Omar over at Near Mint Condition would probably recommend, but I don't know if like, for example, Fear Agent. I brought out the deluxe hardcover of that, and it's beautiful, and it's one of my favorite books I've read. Actually, I'll be honest, I've only read the first volume, and I've started on the second volume, but they're already amazing. Rick Remender. So we're gonna look at that stuff. But before we get into all that, I want to talk about Stickygoose. And if you don't know who Stickygoose is, he is a comic book YouTuber, and he's been on the platform for a while. And I was a fan of his, and I watched a lot of his videos and his content and stuff. And he's, so to kind of set up this whole thing with him, basically, and this is just telling from my perspective, Sticky Goose kind of started going down the path of like getting into some like drama with his videos, talking about, or either something that would happen to him at like a comic book store, or talking about other creators in the community. I thought it was all in good fun. I don't think anything he did was like, nefarious or trying to be a really mean guy or anything. I think he was just, that maybe was a sense of humor or whatever. And he got into that stuff, and he got somewhat of a negative reaction from that. And he announced that, well, here you go. He announced, "I'm done," right? Which I was really sad to see. And then I sold everything, which I couldn't believe, because he had like this huge wall. Let me see if I can find another thumbnail of this. Is like part of his wall of all his comics that he has. It was very impressive, actually. But it all started with this like interview he had with well, they didn't all start there, but one of the big things was he had an interview with Comic Tom that didn't really go that well, I guess. I thought it was entertaining, but yeah. Then he posts the I sold everything, which honestly, when I saw that, to me, I thought that was a shame. I don't like to see like anybody being pushed out of the hobby or feeling like they need to leave the hobby because of whatever the situation is. You know, only having more people in the hobby and more people interested in this stuff and making content nonetheless about it is a good thing. And I'll be honest with you, I liked the drama. I look at my wife, she's laughing because sometimes it was too much, but like I liked those videos. So I was totally cool with it. I was on board for all the drama. But Sticky Goose did then come back and say, oops, clicked on this video, but he said, hey, I'm actually going to make some more videos. I'm going to leave the comments off. This is his like collected edition shelves he's got behind him here. I didn't watch this yet. This is looks like it's his daughter, so that's probably a nice video that he posted today. So I'm going to give that a watch and support and throw it a like and stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to say I'm happy that he's back making videos and probably making it about, you know, really about content about the hobby, about the comic books themselves that he really likes and that we all do. So that's just my take on Sticky Goose. Like I said, I was pretty disappointed when I saw like someone being like, oh, I'm selling off my whole collection because I don't want to do this anymore. And you know, if you watch this, Sticky, and you want to ever collab on something or interview or something, you know, throw me a bone. Anyway, that's Sticky Goose. Yeah, happy to see he's back. Happy to see he's making videos. All right, so let's talk about what I mentioned earlier first, which is the McFarlane toys. And again, I want to reiterate, if you end up watching this in the VOD or whatever, if you have any, you know, if you think any particular thing about McFarlane toys, good or bad, let me know. This one I just got at Target. This is Orion. Oh, baby, can you do me a favor? Sorry, can you grab the Jack Kirby Fourth World Absolutes?
Okay.
Thank you. My wife is so nice that sometimes when we're sitting here and I'm live streaming and she's hanging out, she'll run and grab things off the bookshelves for me. This is Orion, which is really cool. It's part of Jack Kirby's Fourth World. I'm a big fan of Jack Kirby's Fourth World. It's one of the things that I think that DC does not do very well. Again, is that they have this whole thing that came from Jack Kirby's mind, and they haven't done that much with it. Don't get me wrong. They did like the Dark Side Wars and stuff like that. Oh yeah, that's the Omni, but this is fine too.
Oh,
that's okay, baby. No, you're good. Here's Fourth World by Jack Kirby. It's really beautiful too. All the artwork done by Jack Kirby. Actually, I can show this on my other camera. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, so these absolutes. So this is the same content as the omnibus I just showed, but there's two absolutes. One's red and one's blue. These are maybe the coolest books in my entire collection. So they slide out like this. And by the way, these themselves too are awesome. Like the silver part is like, I don't know how to describe it, but you can feel it as you put your finger over it. It's like, it's quality. And then this is the absolute. And then, like I said, it's just full of, look at that beautiful Jack Kirby art. Awesome stuff. And that's the Fourth World. And that's why I'm a fan of Orion. And I've read a lot of this content, not all of it, but I've read a lot of it. And look, there's Superman. Famously, they did not like the way Jack Kirby drew Superman. So they had someone go in and redraw Superman's face when he did these comics. And I think this was like right after Jack Kirby came over from Marvel, and he was like, you know, I have this idea, I want to do this thing, and they basically gave him free reign. And there we go. There's Orion, who is he doesn't know it, but he is hold on, where'd it go? Oh, it's right here. He's the son of Darkseid. And it's kind of an interesting thing. I gotta go back and read all this. Mr. Miracle, or this is the origin of Mr. Miracle. That's like the original one, kind of. But then as we know, Scott Free takes up the mantle of Mr. Miracle. So anyway, really cool stuff. These absolutes, I'm actually gonna read the omnibus because I want to keep these absolutes in pristine condition because I just love them so much. But these are the kind of books I like to just pull out every once in a while off my shelves and just flip through them just to look at the art, because they're that beautiful. Thank you, baby. Um, like Sticky, I have a omnibus collection. I all I do on these lives is show off my omnibus collection. I feel like I do this every time, but I don't care because I need to give context. Um, so this is my loft area where I have all my omnibuses. Um, so that's where my wife is grabbing my books from if I very politely ask her to. Anyway, moving on from that. So that's Orion. Orion's pretty awesome. And I think I'm probably going to take a lot of these out of the cases eventually. But for right now, I think McFarlane Toys does a really good job of like making displays or making the boxes look good. So I'm going to keep them in there for now.
I think that's one of the things that people didn't like that much, like the way to display on inside of the box.
People didn't like how they're displayed in the box.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, some people don't like that. Now, I got these four. Okay. I got these four from Blackest Night. And
You showed it in a previous video.
yeah, I showed these in a previous video. So this is Black Lantern, Superman. So there's going to be something missing from all of these because that's how I made my Red Lantern, my Atrocitus. So the different pieces came in the different boxes and you put them together. So that's Superman, Black Lantern. I'm definitely going to take these out and just pose them all near the Red Lantern. There's also a Red Lantern omnibus coming out, actually. This is Black Lantern, Superman, or Batman, rather. This is Deathstorm, which is basically Black Lantern Firestorm. And as you can see in this corner here, it's showing like, Atrocitus, and it shows Atrocitus on the back as well, and which pieces you need for to collect. So, but Deathstorm, by the way, look how cool he is. It's Firestorm, but turned into a Black Lantern, and this is like such a cool concept. I love that they did that. Yeah. Okay. Mike says that's a lot of omnibuses. I hope you don't have to move anytime soon. When I moved, okay, first of all, I hate moving. Second of all, I've moved every year for a very long time. Luckily, this house that we're in now, this is my first house I've ever owned, and we're going to stay here for a while. But every time I've moved since I started getting my omnibus collection, it has gotten more difficult because my omnibus collection continues to grow and grow and grow, and it gets heavier and it becomes more boxes every single time, and you're like trying to keep them in good condition. And I don't even want to go into what happened with our movers because some of the boxes like collapsed and stuff. Actually, in this video, you can see we're still moving. We're still kind of moving in. But yes, that is a very true statement. Moving is hell with these omnibuses. And the way I came up with it last time, I don't even think it was good. I'm going to try something different next time, but hopefully that won't be for a while. So that's Firestorm. And then Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern. I love the giant sword. I never claimed that I was such like a super fan of Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern, because I can't be a fan of a character if I haven't like read any material with them or watched a show or anything that contains that character. And that's how Kyle Rayner was for me. When I was a kid, I think the Green Lantern on the Justice League was Jon Stewart, and so I always liked Jon Stewart, or it was Hal Jordan. But actually in the 90s is when Kyle Rayner came into the comics, and there's a really good compendium. I think it's literally called like the Kyle Rayner Compendium or something like that. I showed it in one of my other live streams. that has the origin story for Kyle Rayner and like the first, I don't know how many issues, 20, 30 issues or whatever in this compendium. And I've been reading that and I've been loving it, actually. I think, every era of comics has its charms to it. I love the art in the 90s. It's so great. It's some of my favorite art. And I think it's because it's nostalgic for me. So Kyle Rayner is quickly becoming one of my favorite Green Lanterns just from the, early reading I'm doing of this compendium. That's been great. Anyway, so that's that, and that is how I put this together. So there's one more character that I want to try to put together, and that's going to be, hold on, I think I can just show you on eBay. Monitor McFarlane. I think I saw a guy that had all of that's oops. No, I want the monitor, not the anti-monitor. Oh yeah, here we go. So this person it's $220. I think it's a little too much, but this person is selling the full set to create the monitor. So there's from the anti-monitor, there's the monitor. Did I bring that one in? Oh, thank you, Fabi. And I already ordered Psycho Pirate, which I didn't tell my wife about yet. But now she knows. So there's the anti-monitor in all his glory, and there he is, beautifully drawn by George Perez on the back there. We have that issue. Yep. And it's it's the Crisis on Infinite Earths event, which is just. It's awesome. It's really, the story is a little bit convoluted, but that's DC for you. You can never go into any cosmic event of DC's and like expect it to be very straightforward. But I think it's one of their best events ever, and in part because of the George Perez art. I have Crisis on Infinite Earths one right here. Actually, I pointed to this before, but I never showed it the other day, so I'm going to show it now. Here's Crisis on Infinite Earths number 1. And it's a wraparound cover, and it is signed by George Perez. So that I love. George Perez is one of my favorite all-time artists. We lost him like 5 years ago now, I want to say, something like that. And it's just a real shame. But this book is I love having this book in my collection, and I really love this event. And his art just made it amazing. So anyway. Where is that? Okay. So yeah, going back to this is the set that creates the monitor. It's these 4. Some of these can get a little expensive. I got Psycho Pirate. The Superman is like $50, and the Spectre, who I want to get anyway because I'm a huge Spectre fan. I've got the first 3 appearances of the Spectre in the Silver Age and the first ongoing Spectre in my collection. Is like an $80 toy. Oh yeah, here's some more George Perez right here. My wife just grabbed these. Here's New Teen Titans, George Perez. There's another Crisis on Infinite Earths number 1, and then can you grab the anti-monitor again, baby? It's right there. This is what's shown on that back cover. So one of the things George Perez is really well known for. So here's the back of the toy. And there's that issue. So this is number 12. So this is near the climax of the whole series. And that's the anti-monitor there. He's really well known for fitting in as many characters as possible into the panels and into his covers and stuff. So as you can see here, there's like 30 heroes here. And at the same time, it's all so detailed. So it's just beautiful. I'm always going to harp on, and there's his Wonder Woman, which I have the omnibus for this. I have the deluxe hardcover for Crisis on Infinite Earths, and I have all the omnibuses for the Teen Titans. And I highly recommend them if you're into, if you want to read something amazing with, really good with really good art. I recommend those. But yeah, anyway, this is the next one I'm going for. We're gonna try to get this in the collection, and I'll make a video about it when I do. So that's those. Oh, and then this ties into Blackest Night. because and I believe this only happened. Now I could be wrong here, but I believe the only time that Sinestro actually becomes Parallax, and it's cool. It's got a little Parallax demon right here, is during the Blackest Night event. And it's not for very long. Someone has to take up the power of Parallax because they're fighting. I think they're fighting like the Spectre as a Black Lantern, and they need a way to take him down. And so Parallax is like, oh, or not Parallax, but Sinestro's like, I'll do it. Takes on Parallax, and then Hal Jordan's like, you can't do it. It has to be me. And then Hal Jordan takes it back and becomes Parallax again. But he doesn't stay that way. I think he's been Parallax a few times in the comics. So anyway, I think this is part of the Blackest Night event, and it's just cool because I like Sinestro. I want to get the regular Sinestro as well, the one where he's not Parallax. But this one is pretty cool just to have, Sinestro in the collection. And I got this at Target. Right, this is the one I got at Target that on sale for like $6 or $7. Yeah.
Sometimes they say here.
Oh yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't say there. But so I always check, not always, but when I go to Target and Walmart, we almost always walk down the toy aisle just to see. Now I don't think McFarlane has come out with anything like. I don't know how much new stuff he's come out with lately because I haven't seen the stores restock in a long time.
What the new things that he's doing is Marvel stuff.
Oh, that's right. He's doing the Marvel statues now. The small that are like the comic covers. We haven't got one of those yet, but I think we may. There's a couple there. The Magneto one is really cool.
They're cool. They are just small.
Yeah, they're small. Exactly.
They are smaller than this.
McFarlane Toys Magneto. So this is the Magneto. This one, oops, I'm showing the wrong one. This one, okay. This is the one that I want to try to get maybe. Because it's like, this is the classic Jim Lee Magneto where he's putting his hand out, I don't know where I have that one. It's probably in the boxes somewhere. But that one I like. I'm not sure what I think about the rest of the Marvel stuff. I wish you could just make Marvel figures, But Marvel has all these weird rules because they've sold the rights to make figures to so many different companies, and that's why every Marvel Funko Pop is a bobblehead because they can't make that size of like statues or figures or whatever because the rights to that or with someone else. But if they make it a bobblehead, it gets around that. So that's why every single Marvel Funko I have is a bobblehead. I don't know.
Even if it's as huge as Galactus.
Mm-hmm. Even this giant, amazing, best villain in all of Marvel, Galactus right here. As you can see, and it's so funny because its head is so heavy that it can barely bobble. It's way too heavy for the spring that they have it on there.
They just have to make it.
Yeah, it's completely compressed, but they just make it a bobblehead anyway. And I have a Sentinel too that's just like that I love, but that one bobbles a little better. All right, going back to the McFarlane Toys. Oh yeah, this is from Dark Knight's Metal. Maybe my favorite DC event, the original Dark Knight's Metal, not Dark Knight's Death Metal. The reason that it's not Dark Knight's Death Metal is because I haven't read it. I'll be honest. I didn't continue on with my ongoing reading of DC when that came out, but this is from the original event, and this is the Batman from Earth -32, as you can see right down here. Because in the Dark Knight's Metal event, the original one, we opened up the DC multiverse to the Dark Multiverse, and you had Batman from several different dark multiverses being brought together by the Joker Batman, the Batman who laughs, and there was a evil Batman version of all of the Justice League. So there was a Batman Green Lantern, there was a Batman not Wonder Woman, but it was like it's called like the Merciless. It was basically in replace of Wonder Woman. It was like I think he bonded with Ares, the war god. There was a cyborg version of Batman Flash. Superman, he was basically Doomsday. Anyway, it's an amazing event. I highly recommend Dark Knight's Metal, the original event. There's an omnibus for it, which that's one of the few omnibuses I don't have because I have all the single issues and I read it that way. But yeah, anyway, this one's really cool. Then we've got this. This is Batman vs. Bane from the Nightfall event. And on the back, they have this crazy anatomy Bane looking like the Hulk breaking Batman's back because that's, what this is modeled after. That image on the back was actually what the image on the cover was. It's not from the panel on the inside. But on the panel on the inside, this is the exact costume he's wearing. I love the big figures, the big bulky ones. I think they look really cool. So this Bane's awesome. And this is Batman all beat up, right? As I think you can actually pose this to where Bane is breaking Batman's back. So when I take it out of this eventually, if I take it out of this eventually, I'll have him snapping Batman's back. I actually really like the Nightfall event. It's 90s comics, so and I always say this, like, there's you have to be prepared going into whatever era of comics you're about to read, except for the modern stuff, because the modern stuff is all pretty good. But I think even though it's really drawn out, like it really takes a long time to get to the climax in the Nightfall event, I still think it's pretty good. And I've read the first Nightfall omnibus, and I've read about half the second Nightfall omnibus. So I'm talking about this having not read the entire event. Now we're talking about a lot of issues, and we're talking about 3 really big omnibuses. So I'll get there eventually, but I've read the part already where Bane breaks his back and everything, and the origin of Bane and all that. And so I really like this one. All right, and then this one's awesome. My wife got this for me. Well, my wife got me a lot of these. She got me the last 3 I just showed. But this is Batman and Spawn, which is freaking sweet. I love the big sword. I love this version of Batman. I don't know what he's doing there. He looks a little bit distraught, to be honest. And Spawn is just looking amazing. Can we please campaign to get another Spawn movie made? I know Todd McFarlane wants to do it. You probably won't remember this, babe, but there is a Spawn movie that came out. I think it came out in the 90s even.
No idea.
And a live action Spawn movie, and I watched it when I was a kid for sure, but I can barely remember any of it. Hold on.
Probably wasn't that good if you can barely remember.
It wasn't very good, but it's better than nothing, because it would be so sweet to get a freaking Spawn 1997. Michael J. White. Oh, Michael J. White played Spawn. Oh, okay, I want to see if they have another image from the Spawn movie. Let's see if they have a couple pictures from it. Oh yeah, there's the Violator or whatever. Look at this, Fabi.
Let me see. Hi, I'm Fabi.
There's the Violator. I think this is what he looked like.
Oh, you know what? I think I have seen it.
Yeah.
I don't remember that much, though.
Look at that. And that's what he looks like under the costume.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they
So,
should make one.
Yeah. It would be... And now they really have the technology to do it right. Because CGI... Obviously, everything I just showed in those images was practical. All practical costumes and stuff, which... Doing things practically has come back in style in movies, to have practical costumes and stuff. I think people like that. But at the same time, what they could do with CGI and the way that Spawn works and the kind of magic he uses, and he can teleport through shadows and angels and demons and stuff. You could, and Spawn is the lore of Spawn is so rich now because it's been going. It's the longest running title by a single author, I think it is, and it broke a record at issue 230 or 40 or 250. I don't remember, or no, maybe it was 300 that it broke the record, 300 and something. Anyway, my point is, It's been going on for a really, really long time. It's a good story, not the best story ever, but I think Todd McFarlane does a really good job, and the art in Spawn has always been really amazing. So they could make not just one Spawn movie; they could make like a series. They could make 3 to 6 Spawn movies. They could keep going with it for a long time because there's so much. It's Spawn has such a deep lore now, and there's other Spawns. There's Gunslinger Spawn. There's King Spawn. There's Medieval Spawn. There's I don't know what her official name is, but basically she's like she Spawn.
But that one is based on the comic that is
Right. This is
Batman.
based on the Batman and Spawn comic, which there's a picture of it back here.
And that was actually a cool comic because it was Todd McFarlane and what's the name of the other one that you like?
Todd McFarlane.
Snyder.
Oh yes, it was Todd McFarlane and Scott Snyder, which is like that's the dream team up for me. I love Scott Snyder's writing. So the last one here is I just read the Hush Omnibus, which was really good. And people say Hush is like one of the best Batman stories, and I haven't thought about it since I read it. Like, is Hush? It's probably one of the best Batman. Like, I wouldn't call it because it's not an arc. It's like a saga. It takes a long. The omnibus is big, so it's probably one of the best Batman sagas. And it doesn't hurt that it's Jim Lee doing the art, which is amazing. And yeah, this is Batman and Hush. And I somehow went into it not knowing who Hush was, like the reveal, it wasn't spoiled for me when I started reading the omnibus. Now it becomes clear, pretty quick who it's going to be. But still, I think it's kind of a cool reveal. Oh, look, there's a shovel there. This toy is awesome. But yeah, that's Hush. And yeah, going back to the omnibus, I highly recommend, and they didn't have that omnibus for a long time too. It came out relatively recently in the last year or two. The Hush omnibus came out, and I read the whole thing. It was really good. And then they have the Batman Eternal by Scott Snyder omnibus that builds on the lore of Hush and stuff. And actually, I started reading that one first, and I saw Hush was like in the comic, and I was like, I don't want to read this before I even know anything about Hush. So I waited and I read the Hush omnibus first. Anyway, really good.
You're missing one toy.
What am I missing?
The Court of Owls.
Oh, yes. There's the Court of Owls with Nightwing, one of the Court of Owls, and a Talon that I think it's probably $80 or something on eBay.
That's an excellent probably.
Yeah, I would love to get that one. And actually, so Nightwing has a history with the Court of Owls as well, which I haven't read, but he has an omnibus that I think has all the material from his Court of his clash with the Court of Owls and the Talons and stuff. So I do want to add that to my collection eventually. They're coming out with some we're going to talk about this later because I'm going to look at some of the upcoming omnibuses, but they're coming out with a few new Nightwing omnibuses, which I was happy to see. And I think I can still get that Nightwing omnibus where it has the Court of Owls stuff. I think it's in his Red Hawk era. All right, but next I want to talk about some. Oh, I brought out the Blackest Night stuff. I guess I'm not going to talk about that because we just did all the toys. Anyway, I brought out some indie stuff. Really, it's just Image comics that I really like that might not be on everybody's radar. And the first one I want to talk about is this one right here. This is Fear Agent by Rick Remender. I'm a huge Rick Remender fan. I think, he does all the sci-fi tropes. Yes, he uses them a lot, but man, does he do it well. He does time travel. He does alternate dimensions and clones and aliens and all that stuff. Everything that you want in a sci-fi comic is in here with great art. And I got to be honest, I've read this first volume and I've read half the second volume, and I'm already saying it's one of my favorite sci-fi series ever. Yeah, here's the second volume.
No, the one that you had.
Oh, that was the second volume. This is the first volume. Right. So, and you don't have to get it in this format. This is a premium format, obviously. This is Rick Remender has his literally has his own comic book format, basically. It's these, and then I'll show in a second the Black Science ones. These are bigger than a normal deluxe hardcover. They're and bigger than a normal omnibus even.
To bring you some examples.
Let me see where. Just the deluxe hardcover though. So one of the ones that's like this thin, babe. Oh, on the left there's a Batman one. Yeah, so I can show you the size comparison. But here, let me show some art in here as well. So I'm not finished reading this series. I should say I've read 3/4 of it, and I love it. And I started reading something else, and it made me I got distracted, but I had to come back to this. He's a fear agent, and he's basically an alien exterminator. That's just how it starts, though. It kind of goes off in a different direction at some point, but this character has a really complicated past, and his past has affected the entire human race and Earth, and the lives and species, entire other alien species was heavily impacted by decisions this character made, and that's all kind of coming back to get him now. And there's like I said, there's time travel, there's cloning, there's alternate realities and all kinds of aliens, and he's from like a farm on Earth, so like this is his dad, and he has his family, and he's like a simple living person, and then of course this is the event that changes his whole life here. And he's like an alcoholic. He's your classic like Western kind of like anti-hero. And it's just really, 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 really good. So I highly recommend, if you haven't checked out anything from Rick Remender. Oh, and yes, perfect. So this is how big a deluxe hardcover is. And this is how big these books are. They're huge. They're like absolutes almost. But they're not quite. So, like I said, Rick Remender has his like own comic book format.
Do you want me to bring an absolute?
No, that's okay, baby. Thank you. And what else do I have? Oh, I have two more Remender stories, the books. So the next one I'll talk about is Black Science. Which I have these three books that are all in that same format. And these books are so freaking beautiful. This is maybe my favorite comic book art I've ever seen in these books. Who is this? I don't remember the name of the artist because I've only ever seen his work in here. Matteo Scalera. Oh, Matteo Scalera. Yeah, actually, that's right. The art in this is so amazing, and the writing is Rick Remender, of course, so it's really good. And this goes into the whole idea of infinite parallel universes. And this guy basically, develops a way. He's been working for a long time to develop a way to travel to different universes to try to get resources and stuff like that. And let me show this.
Is that volume 1?
And again, yeah, this isn't volume 1, but that's okay because I wanna start here. The art and the colorists on this too, it's so freaking good. I remember I started reading this in the regular. I have Black Science in 3 different formats, actually 4, because I have some of the single issues too. I have it in single issues, I have it in trade paperbacks, I have it in a compendium. Right here. This is the whole thing right here in a compendium. And I have it in these. Now, I'm probably going to sell some of those older formats because now I have these. But that just shows you how much I love Black Science. And just, it's like I said, it's one of those times where like amazing art came together with really, really good writing. Really, what's the word I'm looking for? Intense, fast-paced. And like I was saying before, he does use a lot of the same tropes as he does in his writing, and he does it when he writes Captain America even for Marvel. But look at this. It's beautiful. But if you do it well, it doesn't bother me. I don't care. So, and there's there's betrayal and backstories that come out of this, and then there's interactions with their other dimensional selves, from different universes that there's kind of a collective that's come together, but I don't want to give too much away if anyone watching this hasn't read Black Science yet. But it really evolves from where it starts out to where it goes at the end, and it's so good. And these I don't even know what to call them. These like library editions or whatever are just beautiful. It's a great way to own them. So yeah, that's that. And then like I said, I have the compendium. All three of those actually fit into one compendium. So if you just want to pick it up and just read it, and you're not worried about having it in a super nice format, these compendiums are great. I've actually gotten into compendiums as a format because it is nice to be able to just like, this is something I could read in my bed, like when I read my omnibuses right now, I have to usually be on my couch with like two pillows underneath them in a specific position because they're heavy and they're huge. And if you grab a compendium, you can just read it anywhere. They're still pretty heavy. It's still a lot harder than reading like a regular trade paperback or like a regular comic, but the compendiums are definitely a step down in terms of difficulty of reading from omnibuses. Yeah, and so if you want the whole thing, you can get this compendium. It's not that expensive, and you can read all of Black Science. Okay, this other one I have the library edition of the first volume of the library edition for this, but I don't have the full set. I'm not sure if I'll get that because I have it in the compendium. Now this one, I'll show you exactly how much of this I've read. Just this bit here. So I haven't gotten super far into this, but I will say this is one of the most intense comic books I've ever read. It is, I mean, how many issues am I in now? I mean, I must be like, I'm only 9 issues in. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you, a lot happens in those 9 issues. This is crazy. This is, there's a lot of violence in there and there's a lot of drugs and, I should be careful about what I say on my live. I don't know what YouTube's rules are, but
Substances.
Yeah, there's a lot of substance abuse, and it's this underground society that's teaching people to become assassins, and it's all about all of it's basically the main characters are all part of this world of criminals basically, and the main character is just stumbling through and trying to make it, and it's the people that are coming after him are absolutely insane. The like I said, when it comes to the violence, like I literally was getting stressed reading this. There's like a part where he's like tripping out on drugs because he took too many on accident and it's not going well, and then his friend's dad shows up who he has to kill, and
Maybe he said killed.
Oh, I know, I said all the stuff I said I shouldn't say. But anyway, and the art's good too. It's a little different. The art's a little different from like what you've seen in a lot of comic books, but I think it's good and it fits the series. I think sometimes art doesn't necessarily line up with the tone of a book, and I think this art does. And yeah, so it's good. And this is a huge compendium, and it's called Deadly Class. So I'm gonna get more into that. All right, I need a coffee break. How long have I been going, baby?
40 minutes.
40 minutes? Okay. So the other thing I want to talk about quickly is Invincible. So I've been reading Invincible every week, almost every day. And I restarted it. I have Invincible in the ultimate. This is called the Ultimate Collection. And there's 12 of these, and they're numbered right here. So it goes literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. And 9, 10, 11, 12. I don't know why I counted that out. I think people know what 12 is. Anyway, I have all 12. In hindsight, I don't know if I'd rather own the omnibuses or the compendiums, but this is what I have, and I think it's a good format to own them in. And I haven't watched the show yet because I wanted to make sure that I'm not seeing anything in the show that I haven't already read in the comics. So I think where I am in the comics right now, I'm in the 4th volume. I think the show is about exactly at the same place because they just came out with the 3rd season. So I'm going to read up to like the 5th or 6th volume, and then excuse me, and then me and my wife are gonna go watch the whole show because we haven't seen any of it yet. But both my brothers love it, and I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I know it's good because I've read it in the comics, and the comics are, this is one of the best comics I've ever read. So yeah, but I'm curious what people think that have read the comics and watched the show. And I'm curious what people think that have just watched the show. So if you're watching this in the VOD or whatever, leave a comment and let me know what you think. And let me know what you think of the third season. I think what Invincible does really well, and there's been a number of comics that use this tactic basically to make the story compelling. And it's the twists, right? It happens often in the issues, in the individual issues of Invincible, that you get to the last page of the issue and it's like, boom, a character standing there that you didn't expect to see again, or thought was dead, or whatever, or you end up in a different dimension, or whatever it is. So that's like the strategy Robert Kirkman really used in this, and I think he probably did that a lot in The Walking Dead as well. But he does it really, really good. And there's a lot of... Let me show some art from in here. I think another great thing about the Invincible show, from what I've seen... Again, I haven't watched the series, but I've seen it a lot on trailers. And I've seen trailers and I've seen clips of it. The cartoon looks a lot like the art of the comic. So that's pretty cool. And... yeah, and this is volume 3. So I think all this stuff already happened in the show. I hope it did, or else I'm spoiling this. This is when he discovers his father is... Well, I'm not going to say it because my wife is right here. No, I can't spoil it for you, babe, because it's good. There's a lot of good twists, but this is really cool. So yeah, that's the stuff that I wanted to show, which is Rick Remender. Look him up, find his books, read them. They're amazing. Anything by Robert Kirkman. He also has another series called Firepower, which was pretty good. Now Robert Kirkman is doing the whole Energon universe. So Skybound is... They got the rights to Transformers. And please, correct me in the comments if I ever say anything wrong here. But they got the right to Transformers and G.I. Joe, and they combined them into the Energon universe. And they have a bunch of titles now: Void Rivals, Transformers. Duke was one. I was talking to the guy at the comic book store about this the other day. But they're all in a shared universe. And by the way, don't sleep on Void Rivals. Void Rivals is really good, and that one Robert Kirkman is writing himself. Transformers being written by and drawn by, well, at least part of it drawn by Daniel Warren Johnson, which is also really, really good. But Robert Kirkman is great. Rick Remender is great. Another one, what's the other one I wanted to talk about that I really liked? Irredeemable. Irredeemable, I have the compendium of that one. Who was that? I can't remember who wrote that one. Is it right out there? Might be at the bottom.
Is this one?
Yeah. Bear with me. My wife is grabbing Irredeemable. Yeah, it's huge. This is Irredeemable. Oh, Mark Waid. Yeah, that's right. So here's the thing about Irredeemable. I didn't like the art in here that much. I'll be honest. But the story is so freaking good. It's one of the best comics I've ever read. And with novels and comics, there's differences in reading them. Sometimes it's harder for me to get hooked. Well, I get hooked into comics all the time, but it'd been a while since I was so engrossed in something, so into something that I was reading before I read Irredeemable. When I started reading this, I was like, oh my gosh, I was reading it every day. I had to keep going because it had me hooked, and this is another one, like I was talking about. This is a really good example of one that the whole thing is basically twists. Almost every issue ends on a unexpected thing happening. But again, I'm not complaining about that. I think it's done really well, and this has a great conclusion. So this start to finish is really good, and this is, I think, I think this isn't on as many people's radar. Omar over at Near Mint Condition, I saw him give this a glowing review, and I always trust him. So I decided to pick this up and read it. And this is another thing where I've talked about that I've just been getting into the compendiums because I think they're a really good format. This one's from Boom, and I love these thick boys. Something about them. It's like a brick. This thing could stop a bullet. Uh, yeah, and it's just a great way to read comics, I think. And it's just like, and it's like this is it. This is the whole thing. It's the whole story right here in one book, and you don't have to break the bank to get it. So yeah, really cool. And this is like I said, it's another one of my delving into compendiums. And then what else was there? What was I going to talk about?
You have to talk about the new comics.
Oh, right. So, yes, the last thing I wanted to do quickly was look at some of the omnibuses that are coming out soon. So, do I have room on my shelf for new omnibuses? Yes, I do. Those are actually full now, and there's some books down here. But, oops. But I can fit, I do have open shelf space, which was something important when I moved into this new house, that I would have room for the expansion of my omnibus library. So I still have these two bottom ones open, and I still have, this is like, again, there's the boxes from when we moved. I still have like half of this shelf open, and then I have other areas where I can put new shelves in if I need to. So with that being said, let's look at some of the omnis that are coming out. No, not this. Where was I looking at this before? Oh, it's here. All right, so this month, I think organic price book. Here's a quick organic price books plug. I love organic priced books. I think they keep their stuff in stock longer than most of the other competitors, and they have great shipping. It's pretty fast. And like, okay, so when I get omnibuses, I gotta switch back to the face view because this is a serious part. When I get omnibuses from Amazon, it makes me so mad. I don't know how Amazon started, like the business started as a bookstore, an online bookstore. So you would think shipping books would be the thing that Amazon does like the best of everything they do. And it's not. They're horrible at shipping books. They come and they're damaged, and they put one like blown up piece of plastic like this big. It's like one big bubble in there, and then they just throw the book in, and the box is like, way bigger than the book, and they ship it like that. And I've gotten so many omnibuses from Amazon, partially because if you order from these other distributors, you have to like pre-order them, or sometimes they go out of stock. And then if I didn't pre-order, I'm like, okay, I have to get it on Amazon. And I've gotten so many damaged books from Amazon. The one good thing about Amazon that is redeemable, makes them redeemable, is that you can return your books. You can return anything to Amazon, and they'll send you another copy. So if you are getting omnibuses on Amazon, I just, I use caution. But like I said, at least if they send you a bad one, you can return it. So anyway, that's my rant about Amazon. But Organic Price Books sends them even with it. Okay, so they wrap it in plastic, they wrap it in another thing, and they have all the packing peanuts in there, and then they even put in a thing for like the mail people, because it ships as media shipping, but which they're allowed to do because the omnibuses have all the ads taken out, so technically it's a graphic novel. So they even have like a letter in there, because I guess there's some of their shipments had gotten stopped by like the post office or whatever. I'm just saying, like, the quality that you get from them. That's why, and I've done lives on TikTok where I'm standing in front of my omnibus collection and showing them to people, and I got a lot of comments of people being like, "How are all your omnis in such good condition? Like they're all whatever." And the reason is because I got like the majority of my omnibuses from Organic Price Books, and they come like perfect from there. And I'm sure, and I've never had to return an omnibus from Organic Price Books, but I'm sure if I ever did have to, they would. I'm sure they would send me another one. So that's my Organic Price Books rant. But where was I going with this? Oh yes, I was talking about that because we're looking at the upcoming omnibuses, and this is their site. So you can go to monthly releases, and you could choose a month, and then you can just click omnibuses, and it shows you all the omnis that come out that month. So this month, Death of Spider-Man came out, which are of Ultimate Spider-Man, which the most spoily title in the history of comics, by the way, Death of Spider-Man. And I do have that one already. I did pick up Thunderbolts Red Omnibus, this one right here. Excited to read that. It's a really cool team. It kind of reminds me of Savage Avengers, although this came before that. But it's, Elektra, I think it's Anti-Venom, Punisher, Deadpool, and Red Hulk, which is just freaking sweet. So I'm looking forward to reading that. I didn't pick up Dark Knight's Death Metal. I haven't read the event. I don't know if it's good or not. I don't know what people think about it. If you've read Dark Knight's Death Metal, and just as a reminder, I'm a big fan of Dark Knight's Metal. So I didn't like consciously choose not to read Death Metal. It's just I wasn't reading the ongoing comics when it was coming out. So if you are a fan of that, leave a comment and let me know if it's worth me going out and getting this omnibus to read it. But as of right now, I'm not adding that to my collection. I just don't know enough about the event. Ultimate X-Men, I think I have volume 1. I don't think I picked up volume 2. But this isn't like something that I'm urgently feeling like I need to get in the collection. I'm not a Black Panther reader, so I'm not going to get these. But I may pick up Ultimate X-Men 2 eventually. I don't think that's going to be one that's going to be hard to get that they're going to sell out of. I did pick up Thunderbolts Volume 3. I have read part of the first Thunderbolts Omni, and I really like it. And of course, we have the Thunderbolts movie coming out soon, and I think that's pretty cool. And I think they're a cool team with a cool history. And there's what I like about it, the Thunderbolts as a concept is it's like a group of characters you don't get to read about anywhere else, really. Now, Thunderbolts Red, they have all they're all from different titles, but even with this, the Punisher doesn't have that many series. Deadpool doesn't have that many series. Anti-Venom or whoever, Elektra, Red Hulk. It's great to see all of them in a run. So, but yeah, Thunderbolts is a really cool like group of and remember, the Thunderbolts is what they came up with when they sold Image the rights to a bunch of their characters. When Marvel was going to go like out of business. So they sold their characters to Image. Image published like Captain America and Iron Man and Thor and stuff for like a year. And they did the Thunderbolts at Marvel. So yeah, I did pick that up. Iron Fist, I have heard that this is really good. I didn't buy it. This is one I'm keeping in the back of my head though. The thing is, I'm just kind of ignorant of Iron Fist. I don't think I've ever read an Iron Fist comic, which is crazy for me to admit that because I've read so many comic books, but I haven't read Iron Fist. So that's another one. Like I said, if you're watching the VOD or whatever, leave a comment. Let me know if it's worth picking up this omnibus. And like I said, I have heard that one's good. So next month, a lot going on next month. This is sold out already, and I can't believe it. But I can't believe they're already making this. Even this Jonathan Hickman's Ultimate Universe or Ultimate by Marvel by Jonathan Hickman. Is this? Hold on, let me look at this real quick. Oh no, this is from 2010. Okay, because I know Jonathan Hickman's doing the Ultimate Universe again right now. I didn't know if he was involved the first time around, but I guess he was. Oh, then I have this book already. I have the Ultimates, yeah. So, okay, so no need to get that. I have this already. I got it. I have the old printing, this Daredevil by Brubaker, Volume 2, so I didn't need to pick that up. I have Captain America Volume 4. I think the version I have was like Captain America by Jack Kirby, but they just retitled that book to Captain America Volume 4 because that's what it is. Jack Kirby took over the book for a while and wrote it and drew it. And that's why you have this awesome Jack Kirby art right here on the cover. So I have this, even though mine's not called Volume 4, I do have it. I have volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4. I have Clone Saga already. Let's see what else we have here. Moon Knight is another one that I have not read very many Moon Knight comics. He does seem like a really cool character though, and honestly, the show I thought was so freaking good. I mean, Oscar Isaac, that's his name, right? Did a he's like he's a what's the word I'm looking for? He's just a really good actor. I saw him in that one movie, Ex Machina, and you can't even recognize him because he's like bald and he has a beard and stuff.
X-Men.
Yeah.
And also he's in the X-Men.
Oh right, he plays Apocalypse in the X-Men, which again I couldn't even tell that was him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he killed it in the Moon Knight show. I thought doing all the different personalities and stuff. I think he did not get enough credit for that.
Yeah, I also really like it.
Yeah, my wife really liked it too. So open to reading Moon Knight. I wouldn't even know where to start. I don't know what the good runs are and what aren't. But I do have one Moon Knight omnibus. Now that I say that, I have a Moon Knight omnibus out there. I'm not sure if it's this one and this is a reprint or not. Oh no, this is volume 2. So maybe I have volume 1. All right, and then what we have? Spider-Man vs. Venom. I have that already. Let's see here, Nova. I have that. Wait, what? Hold on. Let me make sure we're looking at the right thing here. Omnibuses, and this is supposed to be, yeah, March.
Are you sure that they are not reprints?
Yeah, these are reprints. They're definitely reprints, but there's other ones I was expecting to see here that I'm not seeing. Let me see here. Hold on. Monthly releases, March. And then product type, omnibus. Because from what I was looking at with, maybe they're January, February, March. Maybe it's April. Hold on, let me make sure I'm looking at the right month here. Wolverine, Daredevil, Ghost Rider, Justice League Dark I already have. X-Men 2099 I don't have. Yeah. Oh, maybe was there a second page when I looked at that before? I don't know. When I was looking at that list of the ones it was showing for March, it didn't seem right to what I saw in near mint condition. Oh well. But what am I getting soon? What am I looking to get soon in omnibuses? I finally ordered. I finally ordered the new Avengers omnibus, which I heard is really good. Brian Michael Bendis. I've read some Bendis stuff before, and I've really liked it. So I think the Sentry is kind of involved in that run, and I don't know 100% where that fits into like chronologically with the other Omnis, so I have to make sure I read that in the right order. But I did pick that up. There's a Daredevil by John Romita Jr. and I forget who the writer is. That omnibus coming out soon though. Let me see if I can. This pre-order catalog. Let me see if I can find this the right what I was looking for before. Period. Ascending. Oh, that's right. There's a new Dead Man Omni that's coming out. Here, I can show my desktop again. Yeah. There's a Red Lanterns omnibus, which I think that's going to be pretty cool. I would like to try to get my hands on the Spectre omnibus. That was one that I didn't get, and it was really expensive for a while. So I do want to try to get my hands on that one. Oh yeah, this Detective Comics. Who was the author of this from the New 52? I don't see it here. I wish it said the author and artist. Maybe. That one's kind of on my radar. This I've heard is really good. Superman by Joshua Philip Kennedy and Joshua Johnson. Sorry, by Philip Kennedy Johnson. Wow, I can't think right now. That, and also that cover looks awesome. Oh, this isn't coming out for a while, but X-Men Blue and Gold. I have like every X-Men omnibus, so I'm gonna get that one because I'm gonna get them all. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get Symbiote Spider-Man or Web of Spider-Man. Danny Ketch Ghost Rider. I think I just got the first I think I got that first issue. Was that Danny Ketch? I got the number 1 of Ghost Rider. I think that was Danny Ketch recently, the book that I've been looking at forever that I finally bought. So I don't know if I'll get the omnibus or not. Thor, I have. Oh, they're coming out with a volume 5 of Thor. I have volume like 1, 2, and 4 of Thor. I don't have volume 3, so I need to get that because Silver Age Marvel was just so much better than DC, I think. But yeah. Oh yeah, and then this, I'm not interested in a lot of the like the really modern Spider-Man stuff, so I don't think that one's not really on my radar. But this Red Lanterns, I think it's going to be really cool. How long have I been going now? More than an hour. Okay. All right. Well, hold on. I got a comment here. Sticky isn't man enough to do what he said. Attention who are? What? I don't know what that means. Sticky isn't man enough to do what he said. Yeah, okay, so it's a little bit of a slight at Sticky, you know.
What people have to know, it's just like controversy, like in general, and you just like that. You don't comment or say anything negative. You just like to see.
Yeah, the thing with Sticky. Okay, I will say this. When I saw the I'm done video, I did go, I have a feeling I'm going to see another video get posted by him in like a couple weeks. Like I was thinking like, I'm not sure he's really going to be done, you know, but again, I'm happy he's not done. And I'm happy he looks like he's going to be focusing on like the comic books now. Even if he doesn't, I don't care. I was all for the drama, but yeah, if you're going to do the drama videos though, you have to be able to deal with the backlash. Yeah, you're gonna become a target if you're doing those videos. So either you have to do them and just take all the hate, or you have to not do them. It's one or the other.
Yeah, and it's something that it's something to bring people together, I think.
Yeah.
Not to separate, you know.
Yeah.
Give hate to each other.
But yeah, again, my overall stance on it is I'm happy that he's still making videos. So I think that's a good thing. But all right, that's going to be it for today. You know, if you end up watching the VOD or if you came into the live for a little bit and watched me ramble about comic books, thank you. And please like the video and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And if there's anything that, you know, you want me to cover in the future, you know, where most of my knowledge lies is about omnibuses and collected editions, but I also have a big collection of single issues and stuff like that as well. So I'm always, you know, learning about new things in the community and stuff like that. So if there's any recommendations for what me to talk about in future lives or in my shorts that I do like 3 or 4 of a week, please let me know. And like I said, if you could like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it.